Doesn't it seem like relationships are a lot harder than they should be? It's like with the fellas, when we hang out, we talk. Everything's cool. We may have a drink together and solve the problems of the world. Why is it that our relationships with women are so freaking difficult? Why is it that we love them, but it seems like we have to work an excess amount to make it flow? There are three primary reasons relationships seem difficult. If you can overcome these three things, you'll go a long way toward experiencing the relationship that you plan to have when you got together. Man, you think she flipped on you, but let me tell you what really happened. Stay with me for a bit. You know what? Let's get it. Okay, let's start with this. It wasn't really that good from the beginning. That's kind of superficial, right? It's true though. The relationship was never good. You were tolerating it. For that matter, you were tolerating her. Ladies who are watching, they're not exempt either. Often they'll tolerate a bad relationship holding on to the concept it'll get better, or it's better than having no relationship at all. But here's the problem, fellas. If you're in a relationship that was never working and nothing is changing, what evidence do you have to believe it's going to get better? Here's an example. If your car battery dies today and you do nothing, what evidence do you have that it's going to start tomorrow? You know the answer. It's not going to start tomorrow, just as this relationship isn't getting better. I want you to try this concept the next time you go out and you know you aren't connecting. We'll assume you made it to date number 3. You don't feel chemistry, you're not particularly interested in her conversation, and she doesn't inspire something deeper in you, other than maybe sexual gratification. I'm going to encourage you to let it go. And here's why. No matter how beautiful or sexy she is, or how much money she makes, or how many degrees she has, or maybe what network she can get you in, you can see this isn't good from the beginning. Often we'll take the bet that she'll get better, or maybe she's just cute enough. I can get past the fact that she really doesn't do anything for me. It's a pathway to a bad breakup, or even worse. Eventually, you're not going to be able to accept that this is difficult to make this relationship work. You're going to lose time trying to develop something that you already knew wasn't for you. Also, I'm asking you for the courage to end this situation. You know, sometimes we don't want to be the bad guy. We don't want to seem as the one who broke it off. Breaking off a relationship, yeah, it's hard. Breaking it off after 3 dates, not as difficult. You have to remember, you're doing both of you a favor because ultimately you're going to end it. It may be in 3 months, or it could be 2 years later. It may be amicable, or it could get ugly. Either way, you're not a fit and it's going to end. You owe it to her and to yourself now rather than later when you see the red flags and the stop signs to step up and do the mature thing, end it peacefully, which will ultimately be a blessing to both of you. The second reason relationships don't work, there's no chemistry. So if you've been on my channel, you've heard me mention before, there are 3 foundational components to a relationship that I've learned from my research: attraction, compatibility, and chemistry. If you want the best chance to succeed, you need all 3. You have a chance if you have any combination of the 2, but it's going to make things more difficult. Almost always, the biggest reason relationships are difficult is because of the lack of chemistry, especially in this era of dating. We need to have this indescribable connection that you know, and if you're on the inside, and people can see it from the outside. People who make relationships work without chemistry are great at putting in the work to keep the relationship alive. Of course, all of us should do this, but it's much easier if we're on the same page. For example, if she's the kind of person that spontaneously books a trip for the 2 of you, but you get frustrated and almost insulted that she didn't consult with you first, there's an example of a chemistry gap. Another example is, so I'm not really into drinking, but my wife is a wine connoisseur. That said, she loves experiences, and I do as well. So I try to find experiences around wine tastings or vineyards where I can find something I enjoy and she can enjoy the experience as well. This is an example of how the chemistry shows up in our relationship. Consider the things you like to do and if you enjoy doing them together. Enjoying the time you spend together and how you spend it is a great example of what your chemistry looks like. Do you think on the same wavelength? Do you have relatable hopes and aspirations? Can you support each other throughout the twists and turns of life? Having chemistry makes the great times in life greater and the tough times in life much, much easier. And last, but certainly not least, you're not willing to put each other's needs first. I know people are out there screaming at me right now. It's okay. I get it. You feel like you do everything you can to make this woman happy. You take her out, you buy her what she wants, you give her what she needs, you give her space, you spend time with her, you just can't seem to figure her out. I promise you, I've heard it before. The key to all of these sentences is what you do. You're trying to do everything to prove yourself worthy. You're doing as much as possible to satiate her. But gentlemen, let me tell you, most women aren't looking to be satiated. Most women want open communication, honesty, trust, taking responsibility, kindness, friendship, adventure, and excitement. That's a long list, right? But if you're dating, try this. Take this list and ask your woman one by one if she wants each of those 8 things I just mentioned. I'll bet you the vast majority of women will take at least 7 out of 8 of those traits in her man. If you consider these types of needs and put them first in regards to her, the relationship will get better. So let's be clear though, it's not all on you fellas. Ladies, I know you watch as well, so you have to make it a point to be just as intentional about putting him and his needs first. Talk to him. Find out what's important to him. Men will not hide an agenda. They'll tell you what they want. Your job is to listen, confirm what you heard, and believe him. Take him at his word. When you show how important he is to you because you listened and you supported him, you're going to alleviate pressure from the relationship. And I promise you, it will make the relationship a lot less difficult. Relationships are difficult in essence because we don't choose wisely. We choose everything in the world with a fine-tooth comb. We'll take 18 eggs back to the store because one was cracked when we left the store and we didn't see it. In that same day, we'll go on a date with a woman we know we have no future with, and we've known this for months and maybe years. My man, take her back to the store, so to speak. Relationships don't have to be difficult. We have to be honest with ourselves and the people in our lives. When we develop the courage to tell the truth compassionately, when we don't have a good fit, we serve ourselves and others in our lives extremely well. It also shows that courage sometimes needs to be your superpower.